Okay, let's unpack this. We've all felt that constant pull, the distraction, that static in the back of our minds that just makes deep focus feel almost impossible.
It really does.
So today we're diving deep into the science behind why succeeding feels so hard in the modern world.
Yeah.
And let me just start with a question for you, for everyone listening. This comes straight from the source material we looked at. When was the last time you sat in a room alone for 30 minutes?
With nothing.
Absolutely nothing. No phone, no music, no TV, no book. You just sat there.
I mean, for most people, the honest answer is probably never, or at least it's been years.
Right.
And if you actually try to do it, you don't feel relaxed. You feel this immediate anxiety. It's a restlessness.
You feel that itch, the phantom phone in your pocket.
Exactly, that physical urge to tap your pocket.
Okay.
It's real, and this is the point we really need to drive home for everyone listening. That feeling, it's not a character flaw.
No. It's not you being lazy or having weak willpower.
Not at all. The experts we analyzed are very clear. What we're dealing with is a physiological addiction. It's like an invisible chain holding you back from deep work, from your goals.
So the mission of this deep dive is to figure out how to break that chain, how to do what the sources call a factory reset on the brain.
And the thesis behind all of this is so empowering. It's simple. You are not lazy, you are just overstimulated.
Overstimulated. Okay, so to get this, we have to start with the molecule at the center of it all, dopamine.
Right.
Because I think most people, if you ask them, they'll say dopamine is the pleasure molecule. That's the common wisdom.
That's the common wisdom, and it's also the biggest misconception. It's the first hurdle to get over.
Okay, so what is it then?
Dopamine isn't really about pleasure itself. That's more the feeling of liking something once you get it. Dopamine is the molecule of craving.
Craving.
Yes, it's the molecule of more. It's what drives you to seek the reward. It's the anticipation, the hunt. That's where the power is.
So it's the engine for motivation. But what happens when that engine is being, I don't know, ruthlessly exploited?
Well, that's where we get into the real problem, the systemic issue. The sources we looked at are pretty stark about this.
How so?
The smartest engineers at Google, at Facebook, at TikTok, their entire job, what they are paid millions for, is to hijack your dopamine receptors.
To literally hack your biology.
To hack your biology and make you addicted to the scroll. They do it using something called variable rewards.
Like a slot machine.
Exactly like a slot machine. Sometimes you pull the lever on your feed and get nothing. Sometimes you get a little notification. And sometimes you get a huge thread of comments. That unpredictability.
That's what makes it so powerful.
It creates a much bigger dopamine hit than a predictable reward would. They're weaponizing anticipation against us.
Okay, so knowing that, what's the consequence of this constant flood? Our brains must just adapt.
They do. And that leads us straight into what the sources call the tolerance trap. See, your brain has a normal operating level, a dopamine baseline. When you're scrolling or eating tons of sugar or playing video games, you're creating this unnatural flood of dopamine, a massive spike.
And the brain's response is to what? Get used to it.
Precisely. It raises the baseline, it raises its tolerance, so now you need more and more of that high-level stimulus just to feel, normal.
Right. And now let's contrast that flood with the stuff that actually makes you successful.
Yes, the hard stuff. Think about writing a business plan or studying a dense textbook or even just doing a focused workout.
Those things also release dopamine, right? Because you're making progress.
They do. But it's a slow, steady drip, not a flood.
The flood versus the drip. Wow. When you put it like that, it's brutal. Because if your brain is calibrated for the flood,
The drip feels like nothing.
it feels like zero.
It feels boring. It feels painful even. Your brain literally screams for the fast stuff.
And that's when you suddenly find yourself tabbing over to YouTube or checking email for the 50th time.
Even when you know there's nothing there. It's a physiological craving. So we haven't lost our discipline, we've just desensitized our brains to the rewards of actual work.
Receptors are.
Fried. Well, the more scientific term is desensitized, but yeah, fried gets the feeling across. And this is the great tragedy of focus. Because all the real success you want, it's found in that low stimulation work.
Building a business is boring. Getting fit is boring consistency. Investing is mostly just boring waiting.
And that leads to a really powerful operating principle from the source material. If you cannot handle boredom, you cannot handle success.
That's a huge takeaway. The discomfort isn't a sign to quit. It's a withdrawal symptom.
It's the sign that the detox is starting. So how do we reset the system? How do we lower that baseline?
So the slow drip of success starts to feel good again.
That's where we get to the solution. It's called the dopamine detox protocol, or as the sources call it, monk mode.
Monk mode. I like it.
The goal is to force your brain back to its natural resting state, to starve it so much that suddenly reading a book or working on a project feels exciting. It feels like a relief.
And the protocol they lay out is pretty extreme, but
Right.
they say you only need one day to see the breakthrough. So let's walk through it.
Okay, so you pick one day, just one. And the bans are strict. No phone, no computer, unless it's for offline, deep work. No internet browsing at all.
No email, no news, nothing.
Nothing. Also, no junk food, no television, and this one is crucial. No music with lyrics,
No lyrical music. Why is that one so important?
because your brain is constantly predicting the next word, the next note. It's a low-level stream of novelty. We want to eliminate all of that cheap anticipation.
So what are you allowed to do?
Walk. Write with a pen and paper. Meditate. Exercise.
Yeah.
And most importantly, do deep, focused work on your single most important project.
Now, the sources are really vivid about what this experience feels like. The first few hours. They don't sound fun.
They are, in their words, hell. Your brain throws a tantrum. You're restless, irritable. You have this overwhelming feeling you're missing out on something critical.
FOMO.
Pure dopamine withdrawal. The drugstore has closed. But, and this is the key, if you push through that,
It gets better.
it gets magical. Usually around the 2 or 3 hour mark, the fog just lifts. Your mind, starved of junk food, turns inward. You enter a state of flow.
And flow is that state where you're so absorbed in your work that time just melts away.
Exactly. The sources talk about people writing more in 2 hours of monk mode than they normally do in 2 full days of distracted work. You are literally reminding your brain who is the master.
You, not the screen.
You, not the string.
That's an incredible proof of concept.
Mhm.
But obviously, we can't live like monks forever. So how do we integrate this into daily life?
Right. The key is creating mini detoxes and building defensive structures around your focus. And for any high performer listening, there is one non-negotiable daily rule.
What's that?
Create before you consume.
Create before you consume. That means protecting that first hour of the morning.
It is the sacred hour. Do not touch your phone. The moment you look at a notification, you are in reactive mode. You've just given the world control of your dopamine for the day.
You're letting their agenda drive your focus.
You are. Instead, you use that fresh morning brain on the low stimulation work that actually moves your life forward. You save the high dopamine stuff, Netflix, social media, as a reward for the end of the day.
The competitive advantage here is just, it's huge. While everyone else is scrolling in a brain fog, you're operating with laser focus.
You've engineered a superpower, but to build a habit this deep, you can't just rely on willpower. You need data. You have to track it.
The source material mentions something called a dopamine tracker. What kind of metrics are we talking about here?
It's not vague. It's about tracking measurable input. So you track your deep work hours, you track your phone check frequency, how many times you unlock your device, and then you give a self-assessed quality of output score for your main task of the day.
And when you track that, you see the pattern.
The correlation becomes mathematically certain. When phone checks go down, your deep work hours and the quality of that work go up every single time.
Are there any, quick tactical things people can do on their phones right now to help with this?
Yeah, 2 really powerful ones. First, turn your screen to grayscale. Color is a huge dopamine trigger. Grayscale makes your phone instantly less interesting.
That's a great tip.
Second, create friction. Hide your addictive apps in a folder on the second or third page of your phone. That extra swipe gives your rational mind a split second to intervene and say, wait, do I really need to do this?
I love that. So this whole deep dive has been about reclaiming our own attention. So what's the final challenge? The immediate application for everyone listening.
The challenge is to embrace the small moments of boredom.
Reclaim those little pockets of time.
Exactly. The next time you're in line for coffee or waiting for an elevator, do not pull out your phone. Stop feeding the beast.
Just stand there.
Just stand there, look around, think, let your mind wander. It will feel uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is the feeling of your baseline healing.
And the final thought to leave everyone with.
It's this. If you can conquer your own attention span, that internal craving for the cheap high, you can conquer anything. Go do the work, let the boredom begin.